Mrs. Mary Olawi will take us in that aspect. Then we'll also do a rating analysis on IPS. Many of us, we've had issues with scoring below our performance, and we feel that why do we always score 0 despite the effort we put in capturing our IPS items? So Mrs. Lamiga now will run us through how these analyses are being done and how best we can do or carry out these tasks so that we'll improve our performance rating. And lastly, if time permits, we'll also be looking at the fiber optics. We said we were going to look at the optic fiber yesterday, but because of the so many questions that came up while the IPS training was going on, we couldn't look at it. So hopefully we'll be looking at optic fiber today as well. And Abdulkadir Usman will be taking us on that optic fiber. Once again, I want to welcome you. Earlier, the GMICT was trying to connect to join us. So I'm hoping that the GMICT will join us shortly. And as soon as he comes online, I'm going to introduce him so that he will formally address us. So without wasting much time, I don't need to do any form of introduction again. We already know why we are here. So please, the rules to remain, let us try as much as possible to minimize the noises that will be coming from our end. And to do that, let us try as much as possible to mute our mics always. If you need to say something, just indicate with the raise of the hand. We'll definitely see you and we'll acknowledge you so that you can ask questions or say whatever you want to say. I want us to listen attentively to the facilitator. I'm sure many of us will be hearing the concept of AVS and digital addressing system for the first time, or probably we may have seen the t-shirts, the flyers in our district, and we'll be wondering what do they use this for. Though it has not been fully deployed, but efforts are on to ensure that this solution is deployed across offices nationwide. So Mrs. Mary Olawi will take us through this solution and ask questions where necessary. Madam Mary, I hope you're online, please.
Yes, please.
Madam Mary, I hope you're online, please.
Can you hear me? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right, so you have the floor.
Yeah, please. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Managers and my fellow colleagues. I'll be presenting the paper shortly on address verification system and digital addressing system. Okay. So before I talk about the address verification system, I would like us to ponder on some few things. Let's ponder on these things. You register for driver's license, national identity, registration, immigration, and you begin to wonder who verifies all those addresses. How valid are the information? Anyone can just walk into an office like NIPSI, road safety, you fill a form. So many things have been happening without verification of addresses. And it has been a challenge to Nigeria. So NIPOST decided to work on Nigerian addressing system. We started 2017 from the ICT department. In 2018, the ICT department added AVS and DAS to mail operation in Lagos. There are so many cases on address verification. Let's also look at this. These are two underdeveloped areas. There are two different cities. We have the formal and informal. You can't say because you are in a populated area, then you don't need an address. You can say that both deserve an address. Complexity is not an excuse. On this note, I'd like to talk about bridging the addressing gap in Nigeria. So what is an address? An address is a collection of information presented in a mostly fixed format used to give the location of a building, apartment, or other structure or a plot of land. Generally used political boundaries. We can use our postal codes. We have so many identifications, either to route our mail. Like, I want to believe most of our our mails, our dispatchers, they use an address, either the one on the parcel or the one given to them on the phone. All these are addresses. So what is the NIPOST addressing verification system itself? We all know that anything system, when it comes to ICT, it's a technology, it's a platform. It's a platform that empowers either an individual, organizations, or government institution to verify the physical addresses or and the identity of the occupants or businesses that reside at the address in a sustainable and commercially viable manner. Like if you have applied for an interview, like in the bank setting or an organization, most times the HR sends someone to identify to verify the applicants without you knowing. So most times they use other platform, and that is why we decided to use AVS because one, NIPOST is an organization owned by the government, and it is more reliable. So what are the importance of addressing? Addressing is at the core of identity management. Like NIMSI, as we all know, NIMSI is in charge of identity management, not addressing management. You go to NIMSI, you can fill up so many forms. NIMSI will tell you addressing is not part of their core values. It is not what they ask for. Even sometimes they don't asterisk the form. And once you asterisk anything on the form, it means it is very important. You just have to fill it. But NIMSI have decided to let the public know that addressing is not part of their own core values. And that is why NIPOST is also coming up to say, okay, since we have offices in almost all the nation, in all the states, in all the villages, okay, let us do AVS. And that is why NIPOST started the AVS. So what are the importance of addressing again? It's the core of any security infrastructure. Like banks, you can't just walk into the bank and start asking for billions of naira for loans. Definitely you expect the bank to come even without your own knowledge. They trace you. They go out there to check where you live, your next of kin, and every other person's. You also employ a driver. You don't know where the driver lives. The driver works with you. The driver picks up your child, picks up your wife, picks up your husband, and you can imagine you sending your driver to pick up your child from school, and the driver comes home without telling you, oh, there's no child in the school, this, or the school also calls you and tells you somebody came to pick up the child, and you keep telling the school you've not seen the child, and the security is invalid. So now we are talking about AVS. AVS will, like a driver, you can always go and trace the man or the driver if the address have been verified before you employed the driver. You can trace the next of kin through address verification. And that is why we said AVS will help in security infrastructures. The addressing is also mandatory to access credit facilities. That also falls under the banking formats, like the KYC, KPI. Addressing is critical to any economic or infrastructure development. We can say like the tax collection. If the address is not valid, or if we don't have a proper addressing format in the system, you will know that tax will be difficult to revenues will be very difficult for people to generate, and the government will be going short. Same thing in the courier service like NIPOST. We definitely know that if we don't have the right addresses of our customers, we are going to have so many backlogs of parcels, then people will stop patronizing the organization. So what can the address verified data be used for? The national, state, and local infrastructure planning, like the tax and many other things. Business plan analysis, the logistics and service planning, fraud prevention, effective government service delivery, and policy development. Like people have been discussing about the present issue we have now, this COVID-19, the palliatives moving up and down, this. Some people are getting, some are not getting. I want to believe that if Nigerian had done their addressing formats well, there will be no issue. You will just go to the local government. The local governments, we know how to distribute all these things. But because there is no effective addressing system, so even if the government is having a good database, most of the addresses on the database are wrong. They are not even valid. So if they are not valid, they are also not verified. So there are so many reasons why address verification is very important in our system, especially in Nigeria. and mostly in NIPOST because of our dispatches and deliveries. Okay, and so why is it important for our own business? Please, are you with me?
Yes, we are with you.
Hello?
We are with you.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yes, we are.
Like physical address itself is one of the key components that makes up customer identity. Although the immediate benefit might not be crystal clear, it is imperative to have a clean and up-to-date database of addresses. I would still like to use federal road safety as an example. There are so many, licenses lying down there. They keep saying, "Oh, we've checked their addresses. They are not even they are not valid." So I think the particular time NIPOST also approached them. Okay, can we just go and can we collaborate with you while we deliver? I mean, the person at database, I can remember what he told us. They said most of these addresses are not valid. They are not valid. That people will just come, and AVS will also help NIPOST. We also help the economy too, because once we collaborate with them, before you fill a form, before you fill your federal road safety form, before you fill your immigration form, NIPOST, you have to verify that, oh, this person lives on this address or in this street. That is what NIPOST is trying to achieve. We've talked with federal road safety. We are still discussing with NIMC. NIPOST is still also discussing with many more. But without the normal thing, we've had so many issues on AVS. Like there is a policy, the National Addressing System, which NIPOST is also a committee underneath, under the, I think, the government institution. They said before we can implement AVS, the national addressing system must be in place. That is, for the whole nation, there must be a format for addressing a street, for addressing the country. So once these are put in place, the national addressing system will also be very relevant to the nation. So the physical address is very important, even for our customers, because if you are talking about you delivering a parcel at home, you cannot deliver a parcel in a place where you don't know. You cannot just go to any place that is not real. You cannot just leave. Even before you leave, if the address verification system is still okay, even before you send your dispatch right that day, you can verify if the address exists. It's not just sending someone to a no man's land or a place where it's not visible. So the physical address is very important. You can surprise our customers maybe on their birthday, anniversary. You just go there. All this will only happen if the address system is working well. So what are the value of addressing, like we discussed? With NIPOST's addressing platform, integrity and quality of addresses specified during registration will increase. Then the KYC, it improves the integrity and compliance of addressing requirements of the third KYC approach. We all know the meaning of KYC, know your customers. And the major thing you need in your customers' details is their names, their address, maybe phone numbers. The financial inclusion, it makes it easier for the unbanked and the other bank to have a proof of address and identification card, which we've explained. And the federal government revenue, it increased government receipts since NIPOST needs to certify every address to be valid. How? When NIPOST goes out to verify an address, there is a particular commission that goes to the institution and also maybe remitted to the government accounts. So that's going to boost the federal government revenue, likewise NIPOST. Then jobs. It generates and secure more than 9,000 jobs with NTC adoption. We are still believing that if it's been adopted, if the AVS is being considered, it's going to generate so many jobs for people out there. So what is the address verification system itself? As we've said, it is a technology, it is a app. It verifies, it is just like the Uber, taxifier, boats. It works like that. The solution seeks to create a centralized and up-to-date database of physical addresses and details of their occupants in order to bridge the gap in data verification. I believe we've used Uber, Taxify, and so many. You stay where you are, you launch your app, you request. Same also applies to the AVS. There is a link to download the AVS app. Once you register and your account is being verified, you are given some details to log on. Once you log on, either as an agent or a business partner, you get the normal details. It is not just you. The database itself is being updated, either logging in or logging out. Even if you do anything, any slight change, the dates you logged in, the dates you are logging out of the system will be shown on the database. So this is the front, this is the login page. Once you log in and the administrator sees you or connects you. This is what you see. If you can check your screen, there is a notification with a red button showing 1. It tells you, oh, someone just logged in. If you are an agent, if you check by your left, you see on duty, it means you are on. Once you are connected, it means either you're an agent or a business partner. The normal things, the normal forms will be filled. Then it gets back to you. The normal test will be done. The biometric test, the biometric exercise will be done. Either as an agent, as a user, as a partner, as a NIPOST staff, or supervisor. This is what you all have. This is what we have. If you look down, you will see the dates. The timestamp is always there. Then you will see verified. Apart from verified, there's also not verified. So just like the Uber, once you request, the driver sends, there is a map that comes out. Either the driver is on his way or wait for 5 minutes. So the same thing happens to all these things. If the administrator requests for a data to be verified, the administrator sends the notification to an agent close to the verification address. For example, if you're at Garki, and a notification comes, please, can you verify my address at Garki 2? The administrator sends a request to any agent around Garki, not someone at Kuje. So that's the way it works. And once it gets anyone that picks the request or that accepts the request first stops others. And immediately the notification is sent to the database that an agent had already accepted the request. And there's always a synchronization going on immediately. So as soon as the assigned agent has been contacted, they will visit the location to verify from people around. They don't need to get the person that needs to be verified. They can ask either from your neighbor or those close by. And with that, you don't need to behave as if you're investigating. You're not investigating, you only want to verify. Because by the time you start investigating, asking too much of questions, people might feel bad. They might not even want to answer you. So most times, LVS agents are always advised to go and verify, not investigate. So while this is going on, either it is either verified or not verified, the agent will fill out feedback notes on his app. And this will determine if the address or the person is truly verifiable. Because you can go to some address, the person might just fill the form because he needs to fill the form. And you'll be surprised that the address is not even existing or it's not even verifiable. You can walk up there. You can even get to the house either through a landmark or anything, but it's not a verifiable address. It's another thing for you to get the house. There's another thing for you to get the address verified. Someone can put a landmark and get to the person's house, but the address is not verifiable because a place like bank needs an address. A place like a place like immigration, embassy, they need a verifiable address. So it is either, and it's also possible for the person to have lived there before, and while he was there, he had a popular name. Then on the form you are filling, there's another particular name to be verified. So there are different ways to address verification. It is not just you getting the house. You can get the address, but is it verifiable? Is the person truly the same person? So there are so many things on address verification, like the quality control. Some people might be thinking, oh, what's if I keep accepting, accepting, and accepting? If you keep accepting and the person, the agent had accepted and he has also gotten back to the database and they believe that it's there. Hello, can you hear me?
Well, with you.
Okay. So the app itself, the ABS app, has a feature called geotagging to avoid features reports. So with this feature, the agent is required to tag the location be verified within a distance of at least 20 meters. If this is not done, the report will be red flagged. That is, you can't be in, let me say, Kuje and be verifying airport road. Once you send the report to the database, it will be red flagged. That is, the agent is either not at the location or is at the wrong place. So that is one good thing about the AVS platform. It has the geotagging feature. Moreover, the agent is also required to take a picture of the location as well as append an electronic signature. On the platform, there is a place. There is a place where you sign. You sign your signature to verify that you gave this information. And moreover, the picture will also determine if at the long run, maybe the organization decides to go back for re-verification. They will have to check if it was the same picture you snapped and the one, because every year, I think every three years, all these addresses will be revalidated. So if NIPOST is given a bank a particular picture, then in 3 years time, you are also given the same picture. There will also be a red flag, because if the customer had gone to the bank to tell them, oh, he has changed his address, which we don't normally do in Nigeria. But if for a particular reason, the customer decides to walk to the bank and tells, the customer walks down there and tells the HR or the customer care that, oh, he has changed his address, and they decide to call NIPOST to verify the address. So if NIPOST is still sending the same address or the same picture to the bank, there will also be a challenge. The red flag will also show that something is wrong somewhere. So the three main reasons why an address will not be verified is either the address does not exist, or the address is not accessible, or the candidate does not live there. So we have all this option on the platform. If you don't have anything to write or you don't know how to even, you can just click either of the three, then you confirm. So once you confirm, it goes. And what about the network? AVS also work offline for some areas with an area where the connection is better or fair. There is always a synchronization on the app. We can see the view signature, the location. Where the geotag means, that is where automatically the app picks the location. It picks the points. You can also view on the map. You can see the images. We have 2 images on my system, and we can see verified and not verified. It is either you send your comment, your reports to verified, or you're verified or not verified. So that is the essence. AVS is very simple. It's very simple. Okay, so let's quickly move to the DAS, the digital addressing system. It's just, let me say, it allows you to just claim address and share with family like most people do. If you are worried if you are worried maybe in Uber or Taxify, I think there is a feature that allows you to share your location. So same thing with AVS. AVS is based on this 3x3 grid. The GPS um, is also part of the feature in AVS. It provides digital address system for Nigeria, just coordinates from satellite position systems. It only showcases the actual location of a landmark on a mapping system. It is not what it generates. Automatically, it comes up from the map, like anywhere you are, like the Google map. Your Google map can lead you to a particular location. It tells you this is where you are, this is where you should go. This is, if you look at, apart from the Google map, if you look at the other side, you will see the coordinates of where you are. You will be worried. You shouldn't be worried when you see a stranger or a foreigner coming into Nigeria and he gets to where he's going. It is a work of the Google map. So same thing with the digital addressing system. Whatsoever position you are, it picks up the landmark, it picks up the coordinate system with the help of the global positioning system. But due to inadequate road and street network, many properties lack addressing, which I believe that digital address is going to help, because for everything on the earth, either water, land, air, everything has a location. It might not be an address, but they all have a coordinates. They all have their coordinates, either the latitude or the longitude. So that is how all these addresses are being generated. There is no system that generates an address to anybody. It's just a system. Once it is launched, you, on the same position, it gives you your own address. So this is National Addressing System, which was launched June 2018, and the AVS. So let's look at the addressing today. This is the normal traditional addressing. We have the 10 Musa streets. So the one for addressing tomorrow is just some letters and some numbers. This is what we have as our digital addressing. We don't generate this, but not automatically the system does. So we believe that with time, NIPOST will make this possible for everybody. So this is what the addressing or digital addressing is all about. It has so many things. Like I said, the longitude and the latitude is very important, just like the Google map. The GPS accuracy, the alliance, the address alias. So if AVS works well, there is a opportunity for NIPOS to now later work on the DAS. And for us to do that, we are going to need the national people's mobile number. And I think that is where we are having so many issues now. Because for AVS to work, like I said earlier, the addressing system in Nigeria must well be structured. It is either the National Addressing Committee, which is not under NIPOST. That is the one under the Ministry of Communication, which Professor Shibadu, the Vice President, is the one chairing it. So if the national addressing system can work, then the AVS will also log into the system. Then the digital address system can work. But without all these things, like we have the postcode, fine, we have the postcode because NIPOST is the one in charge of postcode. But for the location codes, the longitude and the latitude, the address, and so many things, there are so many people that will be involved. So once all these are done, then we can now talk about the digital addressing system. But everything is still AVS is still the foundation of everything. AVS is the foundation of digital addressing system. Okay. Like it gives us better security, better logistics, e-services, and many more inclusion. Digital address system is free for every Nigerian. Like the e-commerce companies, the courier companies, the financial institution can all use all this. Like this GIS, the mapping companies, we also need them because our API must be connected to all these people, NGOs and government MDAs. And NIPOST have not relented. We are still working on it. So how does it work? We have the AVS at the central, and we have the API connected to all other, to so many institutions. We have our feed work and the feed agent network. We have the database, the address database. The feed agent network works directly from the AVS. All their data are sent to the address database. The securities agencies, the financial, all organizations can only connect to AVS platform, but cannot connect to the database because we have to manage the database. NIPOST will be the one in charge of the database due to this data protection policy now in Nigeria. So you can only connect to the platform like a business partner. We monitor what they do. They send requests to us, like the bank can send requests to AVS. So NIPOST, please, can you verify this? Then the AVS platform, the database administrator sends a request to the field agent network. So that is how it works. None of the organizations, the third party, financial industry, they don't have access to the database. The database is being managed by NIPOST, and NIPOST will also be in charge of the server and everything. It's going to be launched in NIPOST. So this is the sample of the reports, the AVS reports. Once you verify a candidate, this is what comes out. This is the slip given back to the candidates. Just like the NIPSI, you go there, you do the necessary things, you have the slip. This is what we have also on the AVS platform. You can see the name, the address, the geotag. The geotag is there. The status, either verified, the date was verified, the validation date, then the last notes. Maybe you have anything, maybe it gives you a name like David and his house is called Daniel. So this is what you have on the slip in case of revalidation or for any security reasons. Then these are the pictures taken. Like if you go and verify, you are supposed to take pictures of the houses around, like some meters away, just to prove that the agent went to verify the address. So for us to do, so we can always download the app from our Play Store, NIPOST AVS. So without much ado, if there's any question, the questions can roll in now, please.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Mary Olawi. We are grateful for this wonderful presentation. Please, I want to say that if there are areas you are not clear, there are questions you want to ask, just indicate by raising your hand. I will acknowledge you, then I'll tell you when you have the slot so that you can ask your question. But meanwhile, while we are waiting for responses for people to ask questions they want to ask, let us be very clear about one thing. She just talked about two things: address verification system and digital addressing system. One has to do with verifying address, either on behalf of a third party, which is probably maybe a corporate organization. I don't think we'll have cause to verify address for individual. I'm just saying I will ask that question too. But most especially for corporate entities, for agencies, government organizations, and so on and so forth. The whole summary is that these people could have addresses they want us to go and verify. So they have a way of pushing it to us through the API that we will be providing. When we receive these addresses, we distribute these addresses to our field officers. Our field officers could either be our postmen or the agents that we will recruit as time progresses. When we say agents, this could be people that are localized in different areas. For example, there are areas in our villages that even the postman does not get to, but there are people who reside there. So such people can be onboarded on the platform as agents. We will do a verification of these people, and then we'll recommend that they become agents. And when they become agents, we can also push addresses to them. They are the ones that can verify addresses that are even in the interior parts of this country. So why the digital addressing has to do with the normal claiming your location, and you'll be given a digital code, which is a replica or that represents your actual address on ground. So questions, please. I don't want to run through the presentation again. I just wanted to do a summary. All right. Shamsuddin, yeah, I can see your hand. Please, you have the floor. Ask your question, Shamsuddin.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name
Good
is
afternoon.
Shamsuddin. My name is Shamsuddin from Kaduna Zone. I'm very much happy to see that ABS has not really died as many people believe. And as a coordinator of the Kaduna Zone, so I have so many experiences on the field, which I think the presenter can clarify. But before then, I would like make a small input with regard to digital address and the AVS. Just a more clarification on what Mr. Kisley has already clarified. The address verification, from my own experience, is not about verifying the digital address, is verifying the current address that we have. That's based on my experience on the field.
Yes.
And the digital address is an innovative product which, when given, which in the future will replace the current addressing we have, which will ultimately phase out the AVS, because even in the DAS there is a place for where an individual can pay money and his address can be verified. So I think maybe from my understanding is that the database of ABS and the maybe DAS will later be synchronized.
Yes.
Having said that, my question is, when you claim, we had experience when there was a circular to capture post offices in our district. So we went on the field. So I observed a technical issue on the field. We captured. Maybe you are not familiar with the area, but the area, let's say, they are parallel. They are not even close. They are not even in the same local government. But we observe that the address we capture, we claim in that location is the same thing with the address we claim on the in another location. And from what we were being explained is that the first two letters is the local government. Abi, am I right?
I think the first two letters is the state, not the local government.
Okay,
That's why
yeah,
you saw OG, Ogun.
the state, yeah, the state, then the local government. The state is okay, but the local government is still the same thing. So all the address we capture, the areas were in parallel, like it's Kaduna South and Kaduna North, but the address we found is the same. So that's one observation, technical observation I have there. So, and then about the National Addressing Committee, is NIPOST part of the committee? That's second. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. Madam Miru, hope you are still online.
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you want to respond to the question now, or you want them? Okay, I think you should be responding because some of the response could prompt another question.
Yes. Okay. The first one, let me just tell you one thing. Digital cannot replace AVS because, one, we still don't have a national addressing format. And that is why AVS is still having issues. Once Nigerian or the nation decide to say, okay, this is our format. Like if you look at UK or US, you will see they have a particular format of writing their addresses. If you look at some envelopes, some parcels coming in from other countries, there's a particular way, either the state first, then followed by the town, or there is a particular format in doing this. And I want to believe that with all what is happening, once the national addressing system, which NIPOST is part of the committee, and ICT is also part of the key person in the committee. Once that is being put in place, then AVS can go on. And we still cannot say digital will also replace AVS, because digital, if you look at the format, there is a particular space for the telephone number. A person can decide to change his or phone number. So how will you now change the addressing system? So digital cannot take the place of AVS. That's one. Then number two, the location you're talking about, we've been talking about this thing. Our Google map, or like your local government. So in your local government, do you have all the whole areas on the map? If you check your Google map, can you search for your area on the map? So most of our, not
because
all.
is at the heart of Kaduna State, so two places accessible.
Okay, but once the location has not been synchronized on the map, you will never get the accurate address. It's either you get the wrong address, but the longitude and the latitude will definitely not be the same. The coordinates will not be the same, but you can have the same addresses. That is why most courier services don't use all those addresses. They use the coordinates and longitude and latitude. So even if you are using any addressing system, you consider so many things. Apart from the address you are making use of, you look at the latitude and the longitude, and you have the coordinates. If you look at the reports I showed you earlier, you will see the verification details. There is the geotag. It will definitely show you this. So even if you're using an addressing system, there are different things. Look at the geotag. The coordinates can never be the same. So for you to even know that an address is even wrong or right, you look at the coordinates, the latitude and the longitude, because the points cannot be the same. If you're at the point or you're at point A, it cannot be the same at point B. So that is why we are saying that some addresses are not even verifiable. If it is digital, then that is why we cannot even say we are digitalized in Nigeria. If we are digitalized in Nigeria, we won't be having so many issues of addresses. So,
all right, thank you very
question,
much.
yes,
Okay.
NIPOST is part of the committee. And I
Thank you so much. Sam Sudin, I'm sure she has clarified your issues. But however, let me quickly add something. We observed also at the corporate headquarters while we were testing, this application is actually at a testing stage. I was privy.
I'm aware.
So it has not been deployed live. So there may be certain issues. And she made a valid point. This application is leveraging on some free resources online, like this Google Map and all of those stuff. Now, what that means is that the accuracy of Google Map too will affect this application as well. What that means is if Google Map is not so accurate, you will discover that the application will also be having some little issues, which we are trying to fine tune over time. Then recently, we did a test at corporate headquarters. 3 of us sat in the same room. I thought that was even the question you were going to ask. We tried to claim an address in that same room. But fortunately, my own phone displayed a different digital address. Mr. Felix's phone displayed a different digital address. I think it was even the GMICT that was there too. His own phone displayed a different digital address. So we're not like, why is it like this? We had to contact the developer self. So I think we tried to find out what could possibly be wrong. We now also discovered that our phone has different GPS accuracies. Do you understand? So, like, for example, my iPhone, if I use my iPhone to take a digital address here right now, it will be different from if I use my Huawei phone to take a digital address. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there could be some distortion too in that aspect. So I'm not trying to say the application is free of errors, but we are hoping that as we begin to roll out the application, we'll be addressing all the challenges associated with it.
Okay, sir. With regard with what you have said, I thought when we were having the training here in Kaduna, the presenter explained that the address is now personalized. It's not actually addressing to the building. It's addressing to the address is for individuals. So even if you are in the same room, your address can vary. I think that's the explanation he
Okay,
gave
I
us
get
then.
that part, but the disparity we had was so obvious. For example, Felic's own, I think Mr. Felic's own was reading Akata General's office, even when we were in NIPOST headquarters. I mean, Mr. Felic, are
Okay,
you online?
I understand your disparity. The initial are supposed to be the same.
It's supposed to be the same, but we were not discovering that why some people's own was reading BO back, some was reading Akata General, some was some persons who read NIPOST headquarters. So, but all of us were at NIPOST headquarters. So even if the codes varies, you understand. So I'm not trying to overflow the issue. I just wanted to do that clarification. So thank you. All right, let us take the.
Sorry, this is GPS. We also have the GLONASS. Like what you
yes,
said,
the GLONASS, that's Russia. Yes.
Yeah, depends on the particular one you are using. Like the last time I went to NASDRA, I asked one of them, the last time they synchronized their satellites. They said it's been long, they can't even remember. So if your local government can be using not satellites but data, it differs. Then moreover, some organization also registered their addresses on Google Maps. Also
Okay, I understand.
it's also causing conflict. Then for the personalized digital addressing system we are talking about, that is if only the application has been developed right, because the number, your phone numbers will be attached to the digital address. That is only when it becomes a personal address. But normally, digital addressing is not a personal address.
Yes, you are very correct. You are very correct, because the model was drawn from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia model is that it is tied to an apartment, not to an individual. Are you still with me?
Yeah, well, with you, I understand.
You get
now
what I'm saying? Yes, it is tied to. So if I live in a four flat apartment, an address will be tied to each flat. That's the way the model. Because in the office we had to study where the model was drawn, which is Saudi Arabia model. So it's supposed to be an apartment for now. So I don't know, or maybe over time it will not be personalized, but actually it's supposed to be according to apartments, I think.
Okay.
Madam Mary, are you still there?
Yes, please, I'm here.
All right. Okay, we want to take further questions, because I think this concept may be new to some persons. Probably some student was in the forefront of the pilot or the testing phase. That is why he's familiar with the DAS and AVS.
Yes.
Okay, I think in the absence of no question, we can go to the next presentation. Moderator, are you there?
See question, people are raising their answer.
Okay.
Goswell from Ugale district. My question is regards to the agent. I want to actually know the specific amount of the percentage ratio at which the agent will be paid. That's my question, sir. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello, please, sir, can you come again?
Okay, I said I am Goswell from Ugele Postal District. My question is regards to the agents that will be collaborating with our institutes. As a matter of fact, I want to know the percentage ratio at which they will be paid, or they will take in terms of their work done with us. Thank you.
So I think that will be handled by the business units and not ICT departments.
Yes, and in addition, it's going to be based on whatever they come up with, and the percentage will be the number of addresses you verify, you get a ratio from it. That's how it's going to be done. But they have actually not come up with a definite amount or percentage yet.
That's what we were told then.
And you should also know that the amount and address will be verified. That one has also not been fixed yet. It's still being deliberated on. Do you understand, please? Hello? All right. I'm sure, Mr. Goswell, you got...
I'm not talking about the amount. I'm talking...
You are talking about the agents that will be employed to verify addresses, right?
Yes, and the percentage.
That's what I'm saying. The agents that will be employed will be getting a percentage from the cost of verifying an address. If an address is to be verified for 100 naira, the agent will get maybe 5 naira, but it has not been fixed.
Yes. After
Do you understand, sir? I don't know if you get what I'm saying, please. Your network is... Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's take the last two questions so that... Yes, Mr. Arabo, I saw your hand. I think there is one before you, please. I'm sorry. Hello?
I am getting you very loud.
Hello?
Go ahead now. You say you have some other person before me.
All right, but your mic is already up now, so just ask your question, Mr. Arabo, please.
Okay, I think the last person, Mr. Godwin, that spoke now, they were a part of the pilot exercise that were carried out last year. So, should I ask you this question? But my own observation is in the process of finding those addresses, I think we have to have a proper format that will enable the smooth smooth working of the address system itself. Like what?
I think your audio is somehow bad, sir.
Oh, I thought it was even mine. I was even trying to switch my network. Hello?
Maybe you can just take the next question.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon.
All right, Mr. Richard.
Yeah, good afternoon.
You have the floor.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Kingsley and the facilitator. Thank you for this wonderful insight. Please, I just want to get a proper understanding. When the facilitator was giving us giving us our illustration on what we were being taught today, she mentioned something about API, which I didn't quite understand. So I just wanted her to share some highlights concerning that API. Thank you.
All right. Madam Mary.
Yes, sir.
So did you get the question, please?
API, yes, I did. That's the normal API. Talk to us. API with other for the bank. The only way a bank can request for a verification is when they talk to us. And how do they talk? How will an organization talk to the other organization in a technical way? It's through the API, the application programming interface. That's the way we can exchange things, exchange information. We don't expect a bank to be sending in a letter or a mail to the AVS manager. Can you verify this? But with the API, we will just receive the request instantly. And not just only them, all other organizations that needs the verification or that will be partnering with NIPOST. Any business partner, we have the API connected to the AVS platform. So that's just what is meant for us to exchange.
Mr. Richard, is it clear?
Very clear, very clear. I get just
Okay,
similar to our EDI. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Vashawa Emmanuel, please, you have the floor. Mr. Emmanuel, please. Mr. Emmanuel, you can ask your question now. All right. It seems you are, maybe it's network. All right. In the absence of any other question, I think we'll have to proceed to the next paper this afternoon. Thank you so very much, Mrs. Mary Olawi. We are so grateful for this class. At least
Hello.
For those. Yes?
Hello.
Okay, Mr. Emmanuel, are you up now?
Yes, I'm up, please.
Please quickly ask your question so we can move to the next paper, please.
Yeah, I'm very grateful to be part of the participant today. I have two simple questions here. Number one is the IDS connected to Google Map? Number two, will this address verification system be enforced, or it will be willingly by individuals to come and get their address verification number? These are the two questions I have. Hello?
Okay. Hello,
These
hello.
are the two
I can hear
questions.
you. I can hear you.
Yeah, number one
Okay,
is
thank you.
the AVS connected to Google Map?
Sorry, the Google Map is just part of the resources used in verifying an address. It's not, we are not the owner of Google Map. We've not paid Google Map to do anything. It's just a free, it's an open source.
I know why the question,
Just
why
like
I'm asking the question. Yeah, why I'm asking the question is like in my own village, I'm from Lhasa in Askrauba. But if you go to Lhasa, the Google Map will immediately read Adamawa when Lhasa is in Askrauba. So if you want to get the address verification system there now, or your address verification number, which state is it going to read? Because the Google Map there is reading Adamawa, when Lhasa is under Askrauba of Borno State.
You know, I said something earlier. I said the last time I checked in Nasrad, which they are the one in charge of the satellites, it belongs, they synchronized with the world map, which is the Google Map. We are all leveraging on Google Map. So it is what your satellite is giving you. It is garbage in, garbage out. Just like your system, you can synchronize your phone with your laptop.
Yeah.
If you don't synchronize your phone with your laptop, it is what you have on your phone that will still be there. But the day you synchronize, just like an update, if you don't update, you will still be on the same page. And that is the reason why we are still like this. Not all locations are on Google Map. It is when they update, then you have it on Google Map. So simple. Then
Okay.
the second one is
will it be enforced?
Yes, the second one it's not by force. If you're a business owner and I come to you for you to borrow me 5 million, will you just give it to me without verifying where I stay? So
No.
if you feel you should verify where I stay, then you do it. But nobody will force it on anybody.
Okay, thank you very much. Quite understood.
You're welcome. Okay, Mr. Kisley.
Hello, Mr. Kingsley.
Mr. Kisley. I can see Mr. Tijani's hand up.
Okay, Tijani, you can go on with your question, please.
All right. Thank you, Madam Mary, for the in-depth analysis on this. Are you with me?
Yes, sir, me too.
Okay. Thank you for the lecture. Is we appreciate what you taught us today. But please, I want to ask, NIPOST has a lot of programs and projects on that. What are the challenges this particular ABS and digital addressing system is facing? Because it has been long that we have been, and even NIPOST, I mean NIPOST staff, majority of them are not even aware of this project. Not to talk of, because like my office now, we were at IMPC some times ago. We have to verify IMPC for our clients that is coming from abroad in order for them to be able to locate us at IMPC. They can only get to NACO, but they cannot get to IMPC. So what are the challenges that this project is facing as a whole, ma'am?
Okay, thank you, sir. One, like I said earlier, the ICT department handed over to the mail's office. And there was we had communication issues, communication gap. Then two, the AVS is still having some challenges with the ministry. Like one, the national addressing system, which I said earlier, must be initiated first, because we cannot be doing AVS without we having a format. We don't have an addressing format in Nigeria. Sometimes people will start with number 1, Adebayo Street. They will now put Garki, Abuja. Why some people will put Garki, Abuja, number 1. So we want to have a standard format of addressing a building, which they started last year. So we are believing that since we have a new minister, I think he's going to pick up from there.
Okay, please, I just need more clarification. Is there anything that the NIPOST management as a whole is doing in order to get these address system people on board so that we'll be on the same page?
The address people, what are the address people?
You mentioned.
Okay, let me quickly say something. I think the class has overstayed. Mr. Ismail, please, there are procedures when it comes to addressing. Addressing is a national infrastructure. It's not only NIPOST that is a stakeholder when it comes to addressing. As we speak, even the Ministry of Communication, even Dr. Gaga and some persons from NIPOST are part of that committee. There is what they call national addressing system. Those ones are pursuing an addressing system. As we also speak, NIPOST is pursuing a digital postcode and so on and so forth. But to push this address verification so that we can fully deploy it, we will need an approval from NICDA. They are the people who approves all IT projects in the country. Now, we submitted this project to NICDA, so it's still under the process of approval and review. So though they have given us some approval to an extent, there's still additional approval we will need before we can roll out this solution fully. So while we are waiting for the approval, we are testing the solution to see that all gray areas are addressed, so that when we finally roll this solution, we will not have challenges with the solution. I hope I've been able to clarify your question.
To some extent, thank you.
All right. I think that will be all for now. Maybe when we have the opportunity of reviewing the papers that have been presented in the course of the classes online, we may still have to look at the digital addressing as well as the address verification. Thank you so much once again, Mrs. Mary Olawi. We are so grateful for your time and for explicitly breaking down the issues surrounding AVS and DAS. Okay, very quickly, we'll be going to the next paper. This one will be a follow-up of what we have done. Yesterday, we started with the IPS, and in fact, it took the whole day because IPS is critical to NIPOST operation.
Hello,
yes, sir. Hello, Mr. Soroye. Are you going to ask a question or you want to say something?
No, my question is just a general question.
Okay, please, can you hold the thought so that we will introduce the next facilitator first, please? She is a general question, so it can be taken at the end of the class.
All right, better.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you. Okay. Sorry, because time is fast spent. So want to see how best we can maximize our time. Thank you so much. So like I said, we have looked at IPS yesterday, but today we are going to an aspect of IPS that is key, that has to do with our performance rating. So we'll be looking at the reporting in IPS. And to take us through the reporting in IPS and for us to know why some of our performances are so poor is no other person than Mrs. Lami Ghana. Mrs. Lami Ghana, I hope you are online, please. Mrs. Lami. If Mrs. Lami is not, okay, I think I can see her online. Her mic is mute. Mrs. Lami, please, you have the floor.
Let me check that.
Okay. Should we take Mr. Soroye's question while we wait for her?
Okay, I'm trying to unmute her.
Okay, please unmute her so that she can talk.
Can I go ahead?
Yes.
No, Mr. Soroye, I have not said you should go ahead.
All right.
Mrs. Lami is up now, Abby?
Okay, she's up. She's up.
So, Mr. Soroye, still hold your thoughts. Don't worry, we'll take the question. The rest ourselves will take your question.
No problem.
All right, Mrs. Lami, you have the floor. Please, you are going to be very fast. We have eaten into your time, but however, IPS is key. So we will listen to everything that has to do with IPS. Mrs. Lami, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, my dear colleague. I want to really appreciate this time that I've given. And I want to also appreciate my boss, in person of Mr. Gabriel, for this great privilege. I was so happy yesterday when we went through the IPS. It was really a very wonderful class. And IPS is like everybody is on IPS. As so far we are in ICT, because that's the job we are doing in ICT. Then with what happened yesterday, or all the events that we discussed, my boss, Mr. Abe, he did a great job. So we now went through the events. In what is happening, that we have reports, personally, that we now, EDI machine now, we configure on the EDI machine, so all the items for inbound and outbound, it transmits on the EDI machine daily basis. And also all the activity that is being done at the district level is being transmitted on the EDI machine. Then for our reports, that is being monitored because we are rendering a service to our customers. And it's a sacrifice that we now took, and it's a contract that we took between the federal government took. It's a reform that we took, that this is the job that we are going to do. And we have a body that we are being monitored by. Hello? So we are being monitored by, and this body is called EPU, that is Universal Postal Union. And this body at that place is called, we have a unit that is being controlled by, that is Postal Technology Center in Switzerland. We have our database here. They have their own that control all the countries too. Because we have 140 countries that are under this unit. That is a Congress that agrees on the services they render, because we have posts all over the world. So all these posts, the Postal Technology Center monitor them on daily basis on what we do. All our mails, both inbound and outbound, at the end of the month, we have a rating that they rate us. So they will send this report to us and also let us know where we are not meeting up. But in the process, we have a lot of district level, which we have been trying to overcome such. Some post offices, at least they have been trying, some post offices are not. And those post offices that are doing the right work, that is uploading those events that we have. Let me talk events. That we talk of inbound, all those items that are coming in. Once you receive at your district level, that is event G, H, and I. And once those level that events are not being inputted properly on the IPS code, we have a lot of issues that our rating will not be properly done, because it's as good as we are rendering service to people, and we have agreed that we want to meet up our customer satisfaction. We're not meeting up the customer satisfaction. Unlike all the post offices, we are using systems in uploading all our mails. You can't catch your mails uploading them on the IPS web. But some post offices, like, they have that kind of solve that. Once they receive an item, they go in, they can deliver that mail in paper and they are good. They put it in the IPS way. And that is as good as we are paying indemnity to those people that we are not rendering the service to. And as well, we have already delivered the mail, but they do not input it on the IPS web. So IPS web is very, very important that whatever you're doing, each event that you're doing, I think we should discard paperwork in the post offices. We are ICT officers. We should make sure that any mail that we receive or any mail that is going out, we should input them on the IPS web. Fetch us a lot of money. But when it is not done on the IPS web, I think we have a lot of money that we are losing. So that's why sometimes we now come and say, okay, this is this, what is happening? But we are not doing the right thing actually. Some post offices, it's like they prefer doing the paperwork than making that one on the IPS web. But it's expected of you that each mail that you receive, you should input them on the IPS web. Each mail that is being delivered, input them on the IPS web. Each mail that is not delivered, let them and other countries are seeing that this is what we are doing on our website. And it's reading that this is what we are doing. We are actually working hard. But most of the challenges that we have is like the work is being done perfectly, mails are being delivered, but we don't care much to go to the IPS web and do the right thing. So we are working hard, but the hard work is not even showing. That's why sometimes you see that, okay, they will come up and say, okay, we have 100 mails. Okay, we accepted 100 mails. IMPC is showing that we accepted 100 mails. Going to the district level, that is event G. Event G will be captured, H will be captured, then a mail will be dropped. Once they capture that event G and H, a mail will be dropped. Some of them will go to the extent of updating that I, that is the next day, which is properly very okay. Because you are given a period time of 5 days to make sure that you deliver the mail because your IPS is on a rest. They gave us 5 days at least to deliver that mail. So once you have been delivered, you should be able to input it because it's an agreement that you took, that this is what you're going to do for them. And once you are not able to do that, you have a grace too, that you are free to go to the IPS web, input the reason why you did not deliver that mail. And from that, as you are stating the reason on the IPS web, UP is now giving you bonus. That is, you are making an effort that you are not trying to keep the mail because anything can happen to the mail. Some may get missing. But if you now input it on the IPS web, the customer too, there's assurance between you and the customer. There's also agreement between we and the Postal Technology Center too, that is monitoring us. Our EDI machine too is transmitting everything that we are doing. So that one is now securing us a lot of money on ground. You have another event again under that H, that when you come, you still have that effort that you will make. Okay, I've tried this customer for 7 days, 5 days. Again, that is how many days? Almost 18 days or 20 days. The customer has not responded. Go back to the IPS web with that mail. Input it. Okay, the customer is not available. You keep the mail. You wait for your retention period. For parcel, I think we have 21 days. Then for letters, we have 30 days. Still that mail, you pick it up and go to the IPS web. Input it. We have our real bonus. If it is 100%, we have 100%. That is US dollar. You will not get on that mail. But if you stop at that G without delivering the mail, that H, that is, you have done GH, attempted delivery, and without any reason under it, you have not stated any reason under it, what is happening to the mail. It's as good as you have carried that mail and you have not delivered it. The mail is still lying down in your post office. So we ICT, we don't have issue, but the postal officers that are in charge of the capturing, most of them, I think the laxity of that, I'm tired and the rest, they don't go back with those mails. You can have 100 mails and you may go after tracking and tracing at IMPC, you may just discover there is 20 items that has been delivered. And all the rest, even after 1 month, that you now go back again and trace it. The item is still that event H. There's no reason under it. And that's why it's like most of the money that we are supposed to make, we are not paying indemnity to those countries that we promised that we are delivering the mail. So we have a lot of issue on the report, but the report is that we can do our possible best because some of them is like, they don't even know, like Benin that we went, they don't even know where to go for the event. After event H, we have first reason, second reason, third reason. Then you return to the IMPC. IMPC will now receive those items and send them back to the office of, to the destination, country destination. Which of, if you are doing all these protocols very well, I think it will earn us a lot. And we ICT will have a lot of burden, a less burden on us. Because every activity that we are doing on the IPS wave is like everything is digitally is on database. So, hello? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Please, Mr. Felix, can you put that on the projector? That is where we can go on the event H, because this is where we have the issue before I can show us the numbers, at least the ratio of our transaction that we have been doing. That is through the IPS wave, because we have a lot of issues. Some of us, it's like most of the officers that are capturing, they don't go to that event H after attempted delivery. We have event G, that is, you now click on it. That H, you have attempted delivery immediately. You have first attempt, second attempt, third attempt. So if you can go to that IPS web, we have a column that you can also open every day or every 3-4 days. You can put all reasons. So please, can you take me to that, please?
Okay, I'm trying to sign it to the IPS.
All right. Thank you so much.
Hello, sir. I don't think it's correct. The URL is 41.
It's 247, 247, please.
41.204.247.247. Partial key as well.
247.
Yeah,
URL is not correct. Okay.
247.
Yeah.
Correct now?
Yes, it's correct now.
Okay, now.
Yes, it's correct now.
Okay, Lami, I'm on.
Okay. Can you sign it, please?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm signing, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you go to that track and trace up? Can you go into it?
Track and trace.
Yeah, go to track and trace.
In the sub menu.
Okay.
Okay, click.
I should click what?
Click on the event H.
No.
I think I don't.
You
I think
click
I
on
don't
the
have.
mail. Click on the mail items.
Okay.
Mail item, either letter register.
Okay.
It's not that. That event H. It's only that one that you can get it. Mr. Felix, I think my own is like my login system. You understand? Allows me as a track and trace, and also I monitor those ones. You understand? But
You go to the mails, parcel or EMS. Just click on it. You do all the events.
Felix, go to letters. Click letters.
Make letters. Go to letters now. This letter you can get all those things.
I've clicked.
Yeah, correct.
No, click letters.
Letters.
Okay.
Okay. Can you go to
click on record of successful delivery.
Okay, can you see me here?
Yeah, unsuccessful delivery.
Unsuccessful delivery.
Yeah. Good. This is item that is delivery. That is, you have not delivered that item. That is our event.
Go to inbound again and go to unsuccessful delivery.
This is item. This is fine. So this is where you put the inbound. Are you there?
Yeah.
Good. So you now input your barcode number here. This number. Isn't it?
What you are showing on the screen is different from what are you playing now. Go to inbound first.
Please, can we be orderly a bit, please?
Can you just allow this
Can we
person?
be orderly a bit, please? There are so many mics on, so we may not get it. So I don't know if we can mute our mic so that we'll follow accordingly. Please, please.
Mr. Irobo? Mr. Irobo? Hello? On him, please.
I'm here.
This is what we have done in your office, isn't it? And this is where you record your unsuccessful delivery, isn't it?
Yes.
So when you, good, come to non-delivery reason, please. You have recorded your unsuccessful delivery. You come here, click on it, please. Click on the arrow by the last arrow. Good. You can see that you have so many reasons. Click, please. You have so many reasons here for your what? For your non-delivery of items. Click on one, please. Now you have said items not available. Can you see? Can you see here? Good. It's not seeing that there's no what? Address not available here. Go to this one, reason of non-what? Non-delivery measures. Click it. Hello? Come to this non-delivery measures. Non-delivery measures, please.
Okay.
Your arrow.
Yeah.
Good. Click on it, the arrow little. Can you see? Okay. Customer what?
Notified.
Customer. Good. No, this one you not click this one. This is the attempted delivery. You understand? This one unsuccessful. Click on another one, please. Because you have already made this is customer notified. You have already gone there. The customer is being notified, but he has not come after 7 days. And what are you supposed to do after that 7 days? You are supposed to come here again and click. Okay, click on the arrow again. Good. You have come to the arrow. It has come. What? Schedule for further delivery? No. Secondly, is like addressee. Click on this. Let me see very well. Addressee required for pickup. These are your second reason, isn't it? Okay, click on it, please. This one. Can you see? Let's go back to this one, addressee not available, so that your method will now work together. Can you click on this, please? Let us pick another reason for it. On the arrow, please, Mr. Felix. Good. What can we pick that will what? Failed delivery. Pick failed delivery, please. This is what we have been asking them to do because you are not able to what? Deliver the item. Failed delivery, good. Then come to this measure, addressee what? Come to this arrow, please. Customer notified now. Come to CC.
Schedule for further action. Schedule for further.
You click on C, customer notified. You understand? Because you are not able to deliver it, but you have already notified the customer. Maybe you have gone to the customer's house and the customer is not there. You know that when he comes, he can come and pick it at any time that he wants to pick. Good. Then you can still come back here again. That is your second attempt. Has been done. Come to this one now. Please, after maybe 15 days or 20 days. Can you click on this? Good. On the arrow, please, Mr. Felix. Yeah. Good. Then you have some reasons now that you can say, okay, you have already notified the customer. Then you now say what? Maybe the customer is not available. You understand? Or the customer has traveled out. There are some reasons here. Please, can you pick one that maybe the customer is not there or the addressee has packed? You have gone there to notify the person, but the person is not there. Have you picked? Addressee moved out. Good. Can you pick this one now, please? To the arrow, good. Then what is the send? Send what? D is what? Can you for us?
Sender contacted.
Good.
Item returned to sender. Item forwarded or redirected. Item disposed of according to sender's instruction. Addressee address being verified. Item head waiting for further action stroke information.
Good. This is not pick because the what? The customer has been moved. So you pick this last one. for further action. The last one, please.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Now you have made your second attempt. You are not going to third attempt. Third attempt is your final attempt, because you know that with this information that you are giving that is reading on the IPS web, definitely you cannot deliver this item, because you are transmitting a message now to UPU, and you're also transmitting the message to the customer that is being addressed to that item. Am I right? Then secondly, you will not come here for the last attempt that you are going to make now. That is, you have to return this item to the person that now sent, because nobody will collect it. That is what trust that we are rendering service to, because we want to satisfy our customers so that the person can even send another thing next time. Because once he sees that we are not able to deliver, and he's also tracking this item, and he now saw that this item has been in NIPOST with us, and this is the event that we are giving them, UPU rate us 100%. So we will not come back again for the, if it is possible, for the 21 days, that day that is reached 21 days, you will not come back to the IPS where pick that mail, because you have to keep the mail according to days. So that once it is 21 days, or once it is second attempt, first attempt, third attempt, you will not pick those items and come back again to the IPS web and input them. So for the final one that you're going to do now, return item to the sender, that is to the country of origin. You still come back here, please. Mr. Felix, can you be there for me, please?
Yes, I'm here.
Good. Okay, click failed delivery. This one now, you couldn't deliver, isn't it? Failed delivery. Good. Then come to the measure, please. Measure reason. Okay, first.
Processing today. Schedule for further action. Processing on next working day.
Okay. No. B.
Schedule for further action. Processing on next working day.
Good. You know that this one cannot work with it because you have failed the delivery. Can you go now and take back that item sent back to the customer? Go back to the delivery item. Item. Just check the list. You are supposed to check the list as a provider. You are supposed to check the list of those things that will not correspond with all what you are doing on your IPS web. That's why I'm giving us this format now, because every event that you now input, when you put it will tell you. So now we want to pick event that we want to return the item to the sender. So pick a word that not tell us or explain to us that this item is returned to the sender, or we want to send it back.
So I have on the list, I have
hello, man.
Okay.
Addressing not
22, you have unclaimed.
Good. 22, bring that unclaimed for us. 22. Unclaimed. See it unclaimed. Come back, come down. Come down small. Yeah. Click on that, please.
Yes, I've
okay, unclaimed. Okay. Now, what is the reason? Say, please, can you speak? Everybody will hear. Okay, one.
Sender contacted awaiting reply. Item return to sender. Item return to sender.
Okay, click on it, please. Good. Once you click, you now go to your ad. Automatically, it will store on the database. And what if you track that item, it will tell you that, okay, this is the process of the item that I sent to Nigeria through the postal. They are sending it. And when you now say items send back to the sender, IMPC is going to receive those items. They will not input it as event A, then they will not take it back to the sender. So at this level now, if you are doing this first stage, second stage, third stage, up to that sixth stage on the IPS web, I think we are good to go. So our report will be perfectly okay. But the issue now that I want to bring us as an ICT officers here, that we usually have this issue, actually, that my colleague now said yesterday. Most of us is like we skip this stage. And this stage is very, very important. If you can take note of it, please, when we get back to our offices, let us put those that are doing the capturing so that they'll be able to know. Because some people think, okay, this is just the line, 1, 2, 3 line, you just do it and add and go. They don't even know that you can come back 3 times or 4 times before you can be satisfied that, yes, the service that you're rendering is actually being satisfied by your customer. And I want to add little. This can make us to lose a lot of money, because at this stage now, Most items, you can't just agree that when you have 100 items going to Benin zone, and that item arrived and they captured event G, they captured event H, I, that I is not possible that these 100 items that went to that Benin that day, the next day, all those customers will come and collect them because we are customer friendly people and we are giving a duration that this is this, but we are on a rest. Actually, we have that 5 days to make sure that, contact this customer. Fine. After contacting this customer, some customers may say, okay, keep my item, I'll come and get it. We have them here. You can go to the second attempt and input it. Okay, this customer says I should do this. And you not input the reason. Once you come, you will not give him and now update your event H after even 21 days or after this, before that 21 days. If you can come around 25 or 26, you can input all those reasons and we are good to go. That yes, you have your 100%. But if you're not able to meet up, you're like, okay, you went and collected, you inputted event G at your district, event H is being accepted. Most of them will think as if I've done the good job. But the good job, you just started the little. The I, the H, that is the H under the attempted delivery. We have 1 reason, 2 reason, 3 reason. Once you're able to put those reasons and it works in line, I think you have already achieved all your bonuses without even putting that I, because it's like that I is the final delivery. And some of them will be delivered after 20 days. That's why sometimes when you go to the post office, you have them a lot of mails in the post office, in those delivery room. But some of them, they don't pick the papers. That's why they didn't give those slips for the people to come and input them again on the IPS web. So we have a lot of issues there. And secondly, we have issue with those items that we don't even return them. You understand? We return them. We are supposed to return them, but we don't go to the IPS web and do the proper things of returning. We cannot carry items and they will use a paper and write it and send it back to the post office, send it back to INPC without inputting it at the what? District level. Because once you have captured event G, it has told you that that item is there. That's why most of the post offices, I know that we usually make calls and all things. They may receive some item that doesn't belong to them. Okay, we will not tell them to capture event G and H immediately in that office so that we will not lose our bonus. Once it's been captured, we will not say, oh, okay, go to the IPS web, do redirected. I think redirected is second attempt under the H. That is first attempt, second attempt is like we are not under that second attempt because you are redirecting. You have already done a successful delivery. So you are not going to tell them this is the problem that you have. You cannot deliver the mail. So you will not send it, you will not redirect. When you not redirect, it will show on the system. Okay, this item is redirected to social post office. And when it gets there, the IPS they will not capture it again. It will be sequentially in order. Sometimes you can even have 10 or 3. When you are now tracking them, you see it. So I hope that with this one, we'll be able to put the others through. Once we're able to get this little, we have little issue on it. Because sometimes not even the issue of the lights. Actually, IMPC is seriously trying. At the district level, they are trying. You see that most of the manifests that we receive, they'll capture even GH, but at the end of the day, nothing will show under some of the items they don't even capture at all. Some of them will capture maybe 10 or 20. So out of 100 items that you're able to capture 20, what happened to the rest of the items? You people will not say, okay, what happened to the rest of the items? We have not done anything on them. And sometimes we have delivered them. We have rendered the service to our customers, but we are not being done the proper work on the IPS web, and we are going to pay indemnity on those things. Those items that we now collected, but we do not do it in a proper way, digitally method on the IPS web. So working on the IPS too is like we have to encourage them to adapt it very well and let them do the right thing on the IPS. Especially my concern is this event H, that is the attempted delivery 1, 2, 3. Then the return items. The return items, most of us, we don't even check them at all. Once we are not able to get that return item on the 30th, we didn't put them on that IPS web. We have lost everything. So once the item is now reaching that 30 days, early in the morning, the capturing officer must make sure that he compile all the list, the manifest of those items that are going out. That is we are supposed to send them back to the country of origin. Capture them on the IPS web. Between that 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock, we are good to go with our bonus. but it's not done properly on the IPS web. Sometimes it's like last year, there's none that has been done on the IPS. Some of them we have to be calling. I think Benin is one of my friends that we usually call, we talk. We became friends at least. Ikeja people, we are friends. A lot of them in Lagos zone, we are friends because that return item fetch us a lot of money. Because when you input that return items, it's enough that there's a trust between you and the service that you're rendering to the customer. Okay? So please let us put in more effort on this. Return items, please. Let us help them to just do the calculation so that we can be able to meet up. Sometimes they'll come and say, okay, ICT said this. ICT, why is it that we are not meeting up? Why? Well, it's not our own problem. One, they have their issue of transportation. Two, because sometimes the mail will leave IMPC, go to Shomolu. To carry it from Shomolu before it will reach Bauchi, it will reach almost 7 days. And it has lapsed that time that we are supposed to capture. Two, we have another issue is like sometimes it will reach that office. They'll be saying issue of light, this is another issue. So, but the main concentration is that once we have a mail, event G is being captured, let us follow the sequential process of all the capturing so that it will just earn us a lot. When we do the right thing, I think we should be able to get the right thing too. And when we are not being rated, we should be able to talk because they have the legs, how they arrange it. We don't have problem in event G, like G and H, we don't have problem. But when it comes to that H and I, that's where we are losing a lot of marks. So instead of us getting, you see that the curve will now go high, but once it comes to that I, the curve will just go down completely. So you see that at the end of the day, maybe we'll just have little because it's only little items that we're able to input. That is I, because they always believe that after GH, that's I. If you're not able to do that I, that is the end. But within that I, it's like that H, when you do that first attempt, second attempt, you're able to tell them, these are the reasons that we have. We have all our bonuses to go. So with this one, at least, let us just keep it in our mind so that we'll put them through when we resume after this lockdown, please. Thank you so much. And we go to the...
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mrs. Lamy. Thank you for emphasizing the importance of this event, H, and these are our return items. We'll take questions. I think Mr. Ismail, I've been seeing your hand up. Mr. Ismail.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Mrs. Lamin and moderator. Thank you so much. Please,
Okay,
I just want to lay more emphasis on what she has said because I had before I did not know the importance of the capturing event as at when due until when I was in e-commerce that I'm dealing with all these junior people. You know, from the other end, customers are already waiting for update of their items. Immediately they dispatch it. And are you with me, please?
I'm with you. Right.
Yeah, customers are already waiting for the update of their items. And the prompt update is what they are waiting for. They want to see the movement of their mail. What last thing that we normally see on the mail movement from NIPOST is when you get to IMPC. After getting to IMPC, it will take a longer day. I have a customer that shared the experience with me that he ordered something from China through NIPOST and he got to Lagos and it took another 21 days before he can get it in Abuja. And I told him that if item gets to Lagos today, it's likely to leave the following day. And our mail funds moves every day. But the problem there is the customer is not, maybe we might have made an attempt to deliver the item, go to his location, is not there or something. But the update on the platform is not there. The customer also said that he got the item without any update on the platform until after getting the item, no update, nothing changed. So the prompt updating of events is very key. And prompt, you know, NIPOST signed J+5 with other postal administration. That J+5, we have challenges of transportation and here and there. But when it gets to us, as at 20, we should try and make sure that at least we accept the item so that the customer from other end, we know that this item has gotten to Bauchi, for instance. And when we make another attempt, that will give the customer rest of mind that, oh, we have made an attempt to deliver this item. Even those customers can call the recipient over there, that the sender can call the recipient that, oh, check, these people have made this attempt to deliver the item. Have you seen them or this or that? So we should try. And those are the areas that we are losing anything, if we are losing anything on IPS this day. And if items stay with us more than necessary, from experience from this e-commerce of a thing, if items stay with you more than the agreed date, you are going to pay indemnity, that they will assume that that item has lost. Are you people with me? They will assume that that item has lost. So we have to do what we can do to make sure that we, at least we keep the update of the item. And if we cannot deliver it within the range of time, as he said, that 21 days, we should return it, make an attempt on it. And when we are returning, most of these return items we are seeing. When I was INPC, you still return item to INPC physically, but on the IPS, if you track it, it's still with them in Bauchi, it's still with them in Maiduguri, it's still with them at the other station. The operation people just take the item out and return it back to us, to INPC. And this, even if you return the item and these people see it physically, if it is not updated on their system, they will assume that this item have lost, you've lost this item, or something happens to you, and you have to pay for it. So that is my contribution on this note, sir. Thank you
so much. All right, thank you so much. Mr. Richards, you have seen your hand. You have a question. Please, let's be brief because we still have a third presentation on optic fiber.
Yes.
Mr. Richards,
I'm on the line also. Mr. Soroye is on the line also.
Mr. Soroye, raise your hand. Your mic is constantly on. Please turn it off. Then just raise your hand. I will know that you want to say something. Please. Thank you for your understanding.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Lamy. I appreciate your input for this on this session, particularly on IPS and the measuring tools you shared earlier. But what my own take is that I feel there is more the management needs to do in creating more awareness to our guys. Like most of the district managers, they don't really know the importance attached to this IPS when it comes to capturing of events H and high. You get, but because I've experienced a couple of times that when Mrs. Lamy came around to my office specifically, and after that day, there were fire service approach. They tried to do the needful, but following after a week or so, they went back to status quo because they don't really know the gravity. And when I try to come in as an ICT person, because I know what is at stake, they see you like an overzealous staff that you're just trying to be nosy, trying to put your nose in everything that doesn't concern, because there are some interest. There are some interests that those people those guys that are delivering, they are protecting. You get, because at times I've challenged there that we have these GMC bikes that you can use to send get those items delivered to customers as at when due, promptly. Do you get? But majority of them prefers to hold those items at their office so that those customers will come directly and pick those things up, because of maybe interpersonal relations they have had with most of those customers, whereby they are promoting a relationship, but is affecting the rating for that particular office. I have so many instances, but this is a recorded session. I don't really want to share, but I know most of us know what I'm talking about. You get, I think we need to create more awareness, maybe a sanction to the office, and I think we need to do more. That's my take. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. Mr. Soroye, before I will take Mr. Abe. Mr. Abe, you are an INPC, so I will take you last. Mr. Soroye, your question, please. Mr. Soroye, your question, please. Okay. Mr. Abe, while we are with Mr. Soroye, Mr. Abe, you can just take you have the floor, Mr. Abe, please. Okay, Soroye, you are up now.
Yes. Hello,
Okay,
good
go
afternoon.
ahead.
Thanks for the presentation.
Sorry, Mr.
I really
Abe.
appreciate
Hold
what
on. Let Sorry, go ahead.
No, Mrs. Lamy, I want to appreciate your presentation. But my questions, it is what you know that will present to the end user. This is the first time I'm hearing all this, that we need to update for the second time, third time, second and third time. But my questions, yes, we need this information. You limit it to yourself in IMPC. Those of us at the other hand, so most of us don't. Let me learn so that you can answer my question. Most of us doesn't know this. I'm hearing it for the first time. So you understand, madam? But I really appreciate it. But I want to appeal to you. Here on this at this meeting now, not all ICT officers are on board now. But I want to appeal to you, if you can just make a presentation, paper presentation, and send it, and Felix can help us to download to the ICT platform the step and what they should do, so that at the end of the day, the blame will not come to the ICT officers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me.
All right, thank you so much. Do you need to respond? He just made a suggestion. On the issue of you audit at the IMPC, I think the information did not get to him. Mr. Sori, the information has been on. I think I can remember far back 5 years ago, we used to capture even these return items. So maybe you didn't get the information. So I'll go with your suggestion.
No. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not saying you should respond. I'm not saying you should respond. No, I will go with your suggestion. A document should be prepared to enlighten the ICT officers so that they will know what is expected of them on IPS platform. So I'll toe that line too. Mrs. Lamy.
Yes.
You want to respond again? Is there anything to respond?
Let me respond little so that at least we'll clarify.
Okay, please be brief. Please be brief.
Very glad. It's like we did it in Lagos, because when we came and noticed that we are not even seeing some items when we are doing this track and trace. We're not seeing some items that are being returned. So when I now look at it, they don't even go for second attempt and third attempt. So I took it. We now went to Lagos zone, to the Benin zone. Even worry, we are able to go through those places and we'll now put them through this. And some offices are doing it, because once you're doing the right thing and you're not doing the right thing, we usually call the officers, the capturing officers, so we notify them. But despite of that, we can still make it and enlighten ourselves very well on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.
All right, thank you. Soroye, turn off your mic, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, my dear brother.
All right, Mr. Abe, your hand is up, so you have the floor. Mr. Emmanuel, please turn off your mic. When it's your turn, I'll let you know, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moderator. I want to make a brief clarification on unsuccessful delivery, as earlier explained by the last presenter, Mrs. Lamy Ghana, in order to avoid conflict on the field. Let me share my screen. I will show you a slide to make my explanation. If you can see my screen, let me know.
We are seeing your face.
Hello, can you see the screen?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet. I've shared the screen.
And give it time. While the screen is trying to share, you can go ahead. Mr. Felix.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is this. The reason for non-delivery, as earlier mentioned, let me make a clarification on that, so there wouldn't be conflict on the field, because as it is now, some of the ICT officers are doing the capturing where we don't have staff and we have ICT officer. Reason code number 12, which says failed delivery must not be captured for EMS item and parcel. The reason is that we have 3 products that we have been captured on IPS, letter, parcel, and EMS items. But the standard as different. The standard laid out for EMS, because the speed and efficiency, reliability is attached to EMS items, is different from that of letter. Reason codes for EMS for attempted delivery or not being captured. Reason 12 that mentioned earlier on, failed delivery must not be captured for EMS and parcel item, as well as reason 22 unclaimed and 51 post restant. Those reason code must not be captured at any time. We look for the appropriate reason and captured. Though the EMS regional managers on the field have been properly briefed on this, that they should not capture those reasons for EMS items and parcel.
All right, let me quickly ask you, in order to clear every doubt. So, but they can capture first attempt, second attempt, third attempt.
Yes, they can capture first, second
Okay,
attempt.
but they should not select those reasons you specify.
Those reasons, they should not select
Okay,
it for
they can
EMS
as well
items.
capture items that are being returned.
Returned, and you can return an item. Yes, you can
okay, it can be captured.
Back to
okay.
IFPC.
Okay, all right, no problem. All right, Mr. Emmanuel, thank you very much for that clarification, Mr. Abe. Thank you so much.
I will first of all want to thank Mr. Abe, because the area I wanted to talk about is where he has touched, because the quality of service speed is also there in EMS, because I work in EMS. So he has clarified that area. But the second area I wanted to talk about is the issue Mr. Soroye raised. I think some of these our ICT managers, they are not also up and doing. You don't wait for somebody from ICT headquarters or Lagos or Abuja to be calling you to tell you what to do. You have to be proactive. Call to know what you're supposed to do. Any area you are not familiar with, you can call. I've been calling Felix, I've been calling Mrs. Ghana in Lagos, and they have been clarifying some issues and put me through. So we don't actually wait for them to call us before we do the needful. That is my own.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you. On a final note, the take home for us from this presentation is that for those offices that have not been making attempted delivery, like you've not been capturing it more than once, henceforth, try to do it at intervals, like they said, after 7 days. And when you are after 7 days, after 14 days, and as the case may be, then when you are planning to return items back to sender, they should all be captured on the system before the item leaves your various offices. I think that's the take home for me from all of this explanation. But I have a question for Mrs. Lamy. My question is this. I don't know if they still do it, but I know those days there are items that are not being returned back to IMPC. They will send them to ROLEO. Do they send register letters to ROLEO? And if they do, how will such items be captured on the platform?
Okay, I think in IMPC it's been long they do that.
I'm even talking at the post office level. I'm not talking of IMPC. ROLEO at the post office level. It's not all items they send from the offices or those post offices back to IMPC. They send some and they send some to ROLEO, either because the addresses are wrong or the addresses are incomplete or something, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, but I know that there are no return addresses, something like that. There are no return addresses, so they would not send it to ROLEO.
There's an issue with this. Most of them, it's like a schedule that we had. I went and saw the letter, because when I said they should return manifest, I deal with items, I deal with the manifest. So I will track. I will say, what happened to this item? They said, no, they cannot say the address. That's why. When I checked very well, some of the addresses are readable. Once the name is there and the PO box is there, you don't have issue to keep them. Or the best thing that you will do, you give it to your manager. Your manager has the right to take it to the RLU, because the manager has to see it very well. How did you receive an item when the address is not cleared? It's a very real issue, because out of 10, you hardly get 2. All the items that are so in Ikeja. Are you getting it? So in this process, if you have an issue like this, you go back to your district manager or your zonal manager. If you're in the zonal office, give it to her. She will be the one to clarify it with the IMPC manager, or at least the person that is in charge will be clarified. But capture it on the IPS, because the tracking number is there. The tracking number is there. That's the reason why you cannot do that later. That's the end.
Hello? Hello, Mr. Kingsley. Hello.
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Mr. Kingsley, let me just say something on these RLO items.
Please, let's be brief. Our time is up. Let's be brief. Thank you.
Okay, please. The RLO items. The reason for RLO items is maybe the address fell off or
you
something.
Said?
I said the reason for RLO.
No, Mr. Ismail, can you hold on a while, please? Mr. Felix, you said what?
They're not taking the third presentation again.
Hope we didn't eat their time.
The facilitator's laptop has gone off and there's no light, so.
Okay. All right, Mr. Ismail, go ahead.
Okay. The issue of RLO is the reason why you can have RLO is maybe the address fell off or the address is not, or that's just the major reason. Maybe the address fell off. And
hold on. Let's not overflog this thing. When I say RLO are items that does not have a return address. What that means is it does not have an address you are sending it back to. I'm not talking about the recipient address. It does not have a sender address.
In that case,
they will say since there is no sender address to send this thing back to, we are sending it to RLO. So how do you capture such items on IPS? That's my question. Do you get my question?
Hello? On IPS.
Yes.
Yes. IPS. If what I'm saying is that some items that will come that will say even don't return it back to the sender. If you cannot,
something like that. Yes.
Crash it or take it to whatever.
Thank you. Something like that.
Like that. The customer will even say, I don't want to return if you cannot deliver it. But on IPS, I don't think that feature is there because I've not explored it to that extent.
Fine, that's my question. Fine.
Mr. Moderator.
Thank you,
Moderator. The feature is there on the IPS to capture termination of import item is what we call it on IPS. In a situation that an item has no return address.
Mr. Felix, sorry, Mr. Abe, can you hold on, please? Mr. Felix.
Yes.
Mr. Felix, can you open the IPS portal again? Like the IPS site, that's the web client. Can you open it, or he should just explain it verbally to us? Because that's what I want to know. Fine, so that he should show us where it is on that IPS web client. If I am sending an item to RLO, that feature to choose that so that they will not be charging us for the item again. After all, we have treated the item appropriately.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So go ahead, Mr. Abbey, while Mr. Felix is trying to open it.
Can you see my screen?
The feature...
Let me see. Yes, I'm seeing your screen. So
go ahead, please.
Yeah,
under where can we see the feature?
Is there for the inbound items that are meant for delivery. In a situation that item cannot be delivered and the sender's address is not there, you cannot return it back to the sender. We call it termination of import item. It's on the letter, parcel, and EMS item. Go to EDX, that is you cancel the termination. There are reasons there and the action taken. You have to select appropriate reason for terminating that import item. That is, if you perform EDX, you terminate the import items.
Under this EDX?
Under EDX.
Okay, hold on. Don't be in a hurry. He's clicking on it now. Oh, yeah, go to reason. Reason.
Reason.
Reason. Reason.
The first one now. The first one.
Click reason. Yes. Look at the list. Look for the appropriate reason why the item cannot be delivered. When you click the reason and you go to the next field, which is the action taking.
Okay, maybe you should go for impossible to contact. Okay, I wanted to say maybe we should go for this one is not here.
The action, okay.
Is he here?
No, is not here.
Item return to sender. Okay.
Go back to failed delivery. Failed delivery.
Another reason.
RLO is not there.
Because thank God we have it in front of us.
RLO is not there. RLO cannot be there. No, IPS is a universal application.
Okay. All right. We'll go back and check it properly. And Mr. Abe, if you go back, maybe you should check it so that you properly guide us so that we'll not be looking for it online. Do you understand?
For instance, if the item is a prohibited item.
Yes.
The reason is there, prohibited item. and you keep action taking, maybe the item is going to be destroyed or burnt. That is termination.
All right. Thank you so much for the clarification. Can we all please mute our mics? The noise is much, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Felix.
Yeah.
So going forward, I think we have taken all the questions as it pertains to IPS monitoring, reporting, and other issues. So these are the two classes we are going to take for today. Since the third one, okay. Thank you so very much. Maybe you should say something before we round up.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say, but just to say
hello, Mr. Felix.
yeah.
Mr. Kingsley.
I'm listening, sir.
I just want to do this a brief survey before tomorrow's class. I don't know if I thought that would be permitted.
Okay. Yeah, you took that permission before. If not, so you can have the floor. Maybe the next.
Okay. In view of the optic fiber, you want to do a brief survey.
Yes.
Okay, and you say it properly so that we know the kind of survey you are doing.
Oh yeah, now power your stream.
Oh yeah, you have the floor.
Okay.
Please let us all mute our mic. This is a preamble to the optic fiber paper that will be presented tomorrow. Let us just do a brief survey according to the facilitator. Thank you.
Good evening, all. I remain Abdulkadir Usman. All protocol duly observed. I'll be taking charge of tomorrow's class, which has to do with fiber optics. So, and this doesn't need any previous or initial knowledge. You can just take it from, and it doesn't mean that someone that doesn't have basic knowledge in physics or computer science. It's just a simple class we want to go through. But I want to take a brief survey that will assist me in preparing my slides tomorrow. For tomorrow, I've already gotten a slide, but most of my slides I have on fiber optics are for professionals. So I want to know if at all, I want people to signify if at all they have basic knowledge of what fiber optics is all about by raising up their hands. Hello,
What is the second question of the survey? So that you ask all of the questions once, so that we can raise our hands once.
The second survey, if at all they have basic knowledge, have they seen what a fiber optic cable is?
Break it down. Break it down. Have we seen a fiber cable before? Is that what you are saying? Or we have seen it?
Yes.
Break it down for us now.
I want to take it one after the other. I want to take it one after the other.
The noise is much. Okay, I'll start calling names. Please, Mr. Paul, turn off your mic. Mr. Tijani, I think your own is just showing the whole of Lagos. Turn it off. Who else is there again? Madam Lamy, please, turn off your mic, please. Mr. Paulilia, please turn off your mic. Thank you.
Okay, right, Mr. Kingsley, I don't want
sir.
to take it. I don't want to take it all in a lump sum. I just want to take one after the other because this is what is going to aid me in preparing for tomorrow. So,
but what if I just help you to save us all this stress? Just start from the basis. Do you understand?
Okay.
That's it. Just start
from the basis. Start from what is fiber. If that's what you have to do, wherever you stop, we will know that we have stopped somewhere. Tomorrow we can become professionals. Let us start from the basis. Do you understand?
Okay.
So,
sir.
what? That's what I think you should do. Because by the time we start raising our hand, we'll raise up to 5 hands with all of these questions you are asking. Though.
Okay, Mr. Kingsley. I believe what I want to do is that I just want to take a simple